What's up, guys? What's going on? So I had a lot of awesome response from the broiler hen video. A lot of people asking for more info. A lot of people asking for me to keep them updated. So this video is going to be a little bit of update here on our broiler hens, and you can see we've expanded the size of the pens and we have them split up into 2 groups. And the biggest thing I wanted to show you guys right now, that these guys are roosting. So I put a couple of roosts in the cage, and I don't know if you could see, but there's at least 5 or 6 up there on that top perch. And I had a lot of people tell me that broiler hens don't perch, but these guys are flying out of the net. They're out here, foraging and eating bugs every day, and they are perching. So pretty cool. I'm gonna try to show you that. Let's get inside here. I need to shut off the fence. This is a typical morning routine. I come down here, I shut off the charger. I get a little confused sometimes because I have 2 of them and they're on different sides, but there's a button down there. During the night it flashes green, so you can tell that it's on. And I'll separate these 2 fences. We got 2 different types here. And let's see what's going on with these guys. Ooh. Oh, you know what time it is? Hear that, Mr. Goose? What we got? 9 of them up there roosting still in the back, so pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and let out the other flock. And then I have to move the coop, I have to feed these guys. And I probably won't need to reset the fencing for at least another week. And I think at that point we'll be ready to move a new batch of birds in here. So we're getting towards the end of these guys. Got a lot of little kind of tweaks and updates we've made here with the system. Lots of little things to show you. And Mr. Goose behind me here is making some noise, so hold tight. What up, Fred? All right, so recently got some water pans from Mr. Goose. I got one in each pen. I change out the water every day. It's kind of small, could probably go to a small kiddie pool. Obviously a little bit more time to fill it, but he absolutely lives for this pan. I refill it every morning. He comes over here, gets in it, kind of flops around, gets himself covered in water. So it's been an awesome addition for the duck, just having a nice little galvanized pan in here. I said duck. Goose. Goose, my man, the Goose. What's up, guys? So I don't like to feed them the second I let them out. I actually prefer for them to get out here and scratch and peck and eat bugs, do some foraging for a little bit. I don't want them to be needy and just relying on me to feed them every morning. So usually for the first 30 to 45 minutes, I'll let them do their own thing out here. And I have to be honest with you guys, this has become a favorite part of my morning routine. I enjoy having my coffee out here in the field. Sometimes I'll respond to emails. Sometimes I'll just sit here for half an hour and watch these guys scratch and peck and just able to, they're enabled to use their natural animal instincts, and and they're out here having fun and playing with each other, and it's neat to watch an animal do what it wants to do and not be stuck in this small cage like typical agriculture. So these guys are happy. They're definitely living the life. Mr. Goose keeps them in check. We've had no predator issues, so I think that's probably the awesomest thing to share here is that we have not lost any birds to hawks. We have not lost any birds to owls or eagles or foxes or coyotes or panthers or whatever else we might have in this area. This electric fence has really done the job. I just started letting the birds out maybe about 4 weeks ago. So the first 3 weeks we kind of kept them closed in the coop until they got big enough to let out. But the combination of the electric fence and the coop that we have has done the job really well for keeping any type of predators out. Actually, when I first set these guys out, after I made you the first video, I made like a cattle panel border that I was going to move, that I cut these strips of cattle panel. Maybe I'll get them cut into this video. I got them sitting over there by the tree still. And I would move the coop and reset the cattle panel around it. And I did that 1 or 2 days and I'm like, this is a lot of work. I haven't had to do that since, and I was thinking that, if something was to get past the fence, it could dig under and into the coop and, that cattle panel would stop them. Didn't end up even needing that, so I got really lucky. But you guys ready to see some more of these chickens? Hold tight. All right, guys, like I had mentioned, I originally, after I got these coops, I was still a little concerned, even with having that electric netting, that maybe a fox, a coyote, something could get into that area. And I mentioned I had, we made some cattle panel sections, and you can see they've been here so long. The grapevines are already growing on them, but I made 4 pieces cut to go around the coop, and I would lay that there. And the idea being, if you had like a permanent coop like we do over on the other side, we have something like that being there. So if a coyote or fox or something goes to dig in, they hit that barrier that would be laying flat right on top of the soil, and they can't get in there to dig underneath. Now, I used that maybe twice in moving those coops. I gave up. It was a big pain in the butt to reset, so I wasted a little bit of time making that. But I was just really concerned when we first, got the chickens out here that I was going to have a lot of predator issues. I lost 60 birds here in the first 2 years living on the farm with the other coop, with foxes digging under and coyotes, until we kind of built them more of a permanent, like, concentration camp style coop with the 2-foot concrete footer all the way around it. That one is definitely not mobile like this one. So these guys, they're constantly moving all over the field. And when I originally made the video, the coops were right over here in this area, and for them to get all the way over there, that was for me pulling them a coop length every single day. So every single day when I go in there, I rinse out the coop. I get it wet, and because it's aluminum, it seems like when I get it wet, I go from rinsing it out to not kind of getting it perfect, but going to filling the waterers, doing the feed. Then I come back and hit it with the hose, and it's like it just comes right off of there after getting it wet. So that aluminum cleans really easy. I'll show you guys that here when I get over there with the camera. The inside of those coops are like the day I bought them. All I did was add a couple of perches. I actually ended up adding some eye bolts on there, thinking I would get the golf cart actually into the pen to pull them. That was unrealistic and just probably more work than I was expecting, so it's much easier for me to just pick up that coop and move it just that coop length every single day. So 8 foot, the coop is moving on a daily basis. Those coops started over here in this area, and early in the morning it's really hard to see, but during the peak of the day, after everything's dried out, with the sun's over top, the lighting's very even, you cannot miss the difference in dark green spots that we have going out here across the property now. The chickens completely already came through this area. It looks like just really, really dark green fertilized spots in the grass. I mean, these guys are out here building soil, so really amazing what they're doing to the ground out here. I've never fertilized the grass. Chickens are the only ones that have been doing that kind of work for us out here. But yeah, I'll shut up. Let's get inside those coops. All right, so for any of all that didn't see the first video, these are Freedom Rangers, and this is a African goose, and the goose has been bonded and raised with the chickens. And I don't know if you guys saw that drone video, but everybody was piled up by the goose when we had that overhead. Anytime I see a hawk, an osprey, a crow, any type of overhead bird, the goose kind of rounds these guys up, gets his feathers up in the air, and kind of gets them into like a safe area. He's ready to protect them. So he is the guard dog inside of this electric netting. I have 2 lengths of electric netting going up here, 2 different types. I'll get links in the description down below. I'm using the Premier One fencing. I have the black and the white actually on both of these. Originally the black was more suited for the smaller birds. White's more suited for the bigger birds. The way I split them up, it just worked out for me to have half black, half white. And I also wanted to have a good size, run free range area for those guys. So I was resetting the net probably, I don't know, every 3 to 4 or 5 days when I only had one. Now that I have 2, I can do it, you know, maybe every 10 days. So it's extending that amount of time that I actually need to reset the net. You know, the coop was over there tight up against the net just 4 days ago. Boom, 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 boom. Today it's gonna move another coop length. And I would guess by the time it gets down here, I probably won't have to move them anymore. We will be at that processing phase. You know, these guys will be finished. I was not able to get another batch of broiler hens, and that's okay. I don't need any more broiler hens. These guys are gonna fill the freezer. People that help us with this are gonna take a few home, but mostly these were just to have in the freezer for personal consumption, to know where these animals came from. I did order another batch of birds, but these guys are gonna be egg layers. So I'm really excited to get some egg layers out here on free range, on grass. Probably even gonna put some netting around one of those mulch areas, let them get up onto the mulch berm, and just get a higher quality egg for a little while. Those birds were on back order until like October, end of October or something like that. So in high demand right now. I'll be okay for a little while, but our next batch is actually gonna be egg layers. I think I got like 18 or 20. I'm gonna lower the number that's actually in the coop and in the area with the ducks. So right now we've got, you know, 25 of the Freedom Rangers in here with the Goose. The next time around, it's gonna be, you know, 9 Easter eggers in here with the Goose. So a little bit of a smaller group of chickens. I probably will have to move that fence even a little bit less. I have a big hose that's running over here off a bib. I move it from section to section when I'm in here doing the feed, and I'm in here refilling those waterers. You know what time it is? Oh, you guys want some of that food? You guys want some of that food? Oh, we got that food bucket. Okay, okay. All right. I already opened the fence, and I will turn it back on after I feed and give them water today. Yo, what up, Fred? You know, when you have a goose, you got to give him a name. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, guys? Guys ready for some of that breakfast? You been out here doing that free ranging? Okay. Let me go get that feeder. Let me go get that feeder. Relax. Woo. So I do put the feeder inside of the cage. These guys get fed morning and night, and I use that feed to get them inside of here. Usually it's not too hard, but in the evenings. And this is what it looks like before I actually get in here and spray anything off with the hose. So there's a little bit of poop buildup, and you know, they'll completely cake the floor in here if I leave it for more than a day. So I find that 1 day is that perfect amount of time before I have to move the coop. You can see I had that hanging waterer there. That's just really a backup. The Goose doesn't seem to use it. Oh, what's up, guys? What up, what up? Okay, you guys want some of that breakfast? Okay. You guys want some of that non-GMO goodness? Okay. New Country Organics. Making some noise here this morning, dude. You hungry? All right, so like I had mentioned, this has actually become not work, but a morning routine that I enjoy. I enjoy seeing these guys out here scratching and pecking and eating bugs, playing with each other. I enjoy coming out and feeding them in the morning, so it's not as much of a chore. And I could say that feeding the regular chickens over there in more of the shade area in the permanent location hasn't been as much fun, hasn't been as much rewarding to me per se. I really love watching these guys out here on the grass. I love letting them out. I love watching them play. So it has been a pretty awesome experience. We'll see how we do with this long term. So now it's time for me to spray out the coop. This is a daily routine. I always change out the water. This is a 5-gallon water. I have that hanging water in there, but I find that they like this one a lot more, especially the Goose. He needs to get his mouth in here. He doesn't seem to really get it on those little nipples on that hanging 5-gallon bucket. So I think if you just had chickens, that thing would work pretty good. With the Goose, I find that having water like this and obviously a pan for him to play in, he enjoys it. Morning. Neighbors are getting more friendly. I think they like the chickens. All right, so that's the morning routine. Sprayed out the coop, got the pan filled. Like I mentioned, moved them a full coop length. You could see the remnants of their droppings here on the ground, and this is gonna turn into some really dark, thick green grass. I mean, these guys are building soil, fertilizing this. You can see I put these white PVC panels on here to give them some shade to hide during the peak of the day. I tried to design the netting so it's at least catching a little bit of that edge of the shade of the oak trees. Same thing with this netting area over here. It's kind of catching that edge in the afternoon. But it's the inside of the coop. One of the issues I had was these door openers, you know, with our afternoon storms and high winds. The other one bent and broke loose, so I actually just unhooked this one before it broke. When I fill the water, I use it there to hold the door open. And you can see we installed 2 perches. Here's one, here's the second. And those weren't just perches for the animals to sit on, but more or less these were added as support to go across this to hold the frame together as I drag it across the yard. So you can see there's 2 down there on the ground. And you know, this thing is really clean. Like I mentioned, I get in here, I spray it with the hose, I get everything wet, fill the waterers, come back in and spray it again. It's like brand new. So had a ton of people ask me where I bought this thing. If you're in Florida, and if you're on Facebook, I got it off the Facebook Marketplace. The guy's based down in the Fort Myers area. Just look up Chicken Coop, you'll see the guy. I don't think I even have his name or number. If I do, email me, I'll try to find it for you, but I might even have it saved in my phone. I think somebody else actually emailed me after the last video, so I'll try to share that with you if you drop me an email. But been really happy with the success of the coop. I really like the screening fact to it. There's no, you know, no flies in there, no real bugs in there. When I open the door in the morning, I noticed some flies go in, and that's just from that manure being there overnight. But otherwise, I've just put this on to brand new fresh grass. It's only going to be there for 24 hours, and then it's moving one more length this way. So what are you guys doing? Hey, I'm taking that feed over to the other girls. You better move, dude. Yo, Mr. Goose. What's up, dude? Whew. And who said meat birds are lazy? These guys scratch, peck, roost, jump, fly over the fence if they're hungry. They will leave this area if I'm not feeding them a second time today. So big shout out to my friends Casey and Tori, Honey Tree Homestead. They've been kind of like my personal mentors here with the whole chicken adventure. Anytime I need any advice, I've been calling them. A little harder to get my man Justin Rhodes on the phone, the permaculture chicken ninja. So Casey's definitely a little bit more accessible, but you guys got the idea, you got the routine. I've tried to give you some updates here on the progress of this setup, and I find it's been fairly successful. I'm gonna do the same exact thing inside this one I just did over here on this one. And what was I gonna tell you? Oh, so the square footage of these areas that I actually have fenced off around 2,500 square foot. So these guys have a really, really good amount of area. And if you look out here into this one, you can almost see a rectangle from when I had a single length of fence set up, and they beat that area down. I opened this area up and got them onto new grass on that side, new grass on this side. The idea with this side was trying to get them a little bit more into the shade. You can see they love this little edge effect by the trees. Yo, what up, Mr. Goose? I see you. Are you guys ready for breakfast? They think it's breakfast. All right, so I'm gonna get in there and feed these guys. I just wanted to give you a chicken coop update, meat bird update, kind of show you what's growing on out here. Also got a Centropic update filmed this morning, and the next update I'm gonna get, other than a couple of installs we have coming up for y'all really soon, is gonna be just a food forest general farm update that I need to get going on, and I'm well overdue on bringing y'all. So I'm also gonna do some follow-ups on some projects that we installed last year, so stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Most importantly, you know what we do around here? We pound dirt.